Hey everyone, Clive Adams here with another Zoom update, and it is time for another CEO update. And joining me, as always, is Neil Dalrymple, the CEO of Bowls Australia. G'day, Neil.
Hi, Clive. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well. And look, you must be so pleased with the way the Australian Open went. I mean, it was so many people at home. Great to see some bowls on TV for the players. Great to be able to get involved, and the timing looks like it might have been impeccable.
I know. I thought you were just about to say, I hope you enjoyed your trip up to the Gold Coast, which, as we know, didn't happen, Clive. So, but no, look, it did look very good from afar, and watching the streaming, certainly the live broadcast on the last 2 days, and then just following results throughout the 2 weeks was fantastic, and just some of the commentary around Facebook and other social media platforms. But all in all, I think, as you say, we were very, very lucky given what's happening around the country this week. It would have been a disaster, I think, if the Australian Open was a week later.
Yeah, and of course we've had plenty of tributes to Andrew Howie and the team, but what a fantastic job that the Bowls Australia team did to bring that event through to fruition. Yeah.
No, look, as I'm sure most people would understand, an event of this magnitude just doesn't happen overnight. There's been and is a lot of preparation that goes into the event, a lot of man hours. This is an event, though, that I think we've certainly we're quite familiar with in terms of how it's run now. So that's it's a pretty well-oiled machine. And whilst we had a few kind of roadblocks put in front of us in terms of our media team not being able to get up there. And look, the people out there were certainly disappointed that we didn't do as much streaming as we would have liked or we could have. But special thanks to certainly our friend, the Happy Bowler, and also to the Gold Coast Tweed District, who stepped up and supported us, and to yourself, Clive, obviously anchoring the coverage there with Brian Marshall. I think it went down well, and you certainly covered some great matches. And look, I suppose for me, it just highlights the impressive facilities that we do have on the Gold Coast, and we do across the whole country. But the greens, the way they looked, and the people that I've spoken to just really love playing on those greens. And they're immaculate, aren't they? They're just so flat. And I think you might have mentioned one day that there's not too many bumps and bits of the green that you have to adapt to. So wonderful conditions, and we were probably pretty lucky with the weather as well.
I think we had a few people on the stream that didn't actually believe it was grass because it was so smooth and so fantastic. Of course, we've had a couple of interesting stories come out of the AO. First one is the boys' final. That's gone viral, over 3 million views on Facebook.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, and it's gone through a vast number of countries, through South America and through the Americas and so forth. It's just amazing the reach that we've got.
Maybe it's because everyone's in lockdown, but I don't know that the numbers are so high. But look, it is fluky, isn't it? Really, how it works. But in terms of the reach, and probably most of those people mightn't understand what they're watching. But look, it probably says to me that this is an opportunity globally about how we can grow the sport, and the power of social media and streaming. And I mean, this is not going to happen unless you invest as we do and produce put these productions together. And the result is, as you say, is quite unbelievable, really. And but yeah, all in all, I think not only those numbers, but the numbers throughout from a streaming perspective, and also the broadcast. We've seen some numbers from 7/2 and Fox, and those numbers are really strong. And over the 2 days, and I've had some just indicative feedback from people who are not bowlers who said they really enjoyed the coverage. And shout out to SEN for the quality of production. Again, our commentators, for those that don't know, were actually doing the commentary off the screen in Melbourne. And I mean, if you sit back and watch the production, you really wouldn't. They didn't miss a beat. So thanks to Jack Heverin, to Carla Krasanik, and to Maddie Flapper for their insights. And it was a job well done.
And just one other story that came out of the AO was young Taylor de Greenlaw. Fantastic to see a 13-year-old make the semi-finals of the women's fours. Of course, I really enjoyed that team in a way, because you had 2 experienced players in Louise and Brenda, combining with two young players in Louise Cronin and Taylor. It was fantastic to see.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the sport, isn't it? And having the different generations playing together. And clearly, it was it was a pretty good team on paper, and they performed well to make the semi-finals. Was a great effort. But yeah, Taylor and the interview that we did with her, I think on the last day of the broadcast, I think it was, Clive, and the confidence in Taylor's the way she presented. I mean, if she can match that with her performances on the green, we have a jackaroo in waiting there, I think. So I look forward to following her progress in the sport. And obviously her mother and father are both passionate bowlers, and her mother, Jess, obviously, as you know, is on the board of Bowls Australia and is a great contributor at the national level. So yeah, look forward to following Taylor's progress in the sport.
She certainly loves the sport. Talking to her just one-on-one, there's a real spark and a real breath of fresh air there. So it's fantastic to see. Next on the agenda, Australian indoors, and we've seen some qualifying happening around the country for that.
And yeah, look, great hosts at Tweed Heads Bowls Club. In particular, a shout out to them. They're a fabulous venue, and we're looking forward to that event in August. As you say, across the country, the qualifiers are happening, and it's good that people are able to get out and qualify for this. You know, it's such a traditional and well supported event across the bowls fraternity, and again, it's a prestigious event to win. So we know the likes of Glasson and Murphy have won it so many times, and it means means a lot to them, and their records speak for themselves. So hopefully a chance again for another aspiring Glasson and Murphy to take that crown.
Mark it in your calendar for August the 16th, the Australian indoors next major event to take the centre stage. But of course, talking of centre stage, the Nationals, Neil, how are preparations going for that one?
Good. It's always a bit difficult to say what our preparations will be like, given it's a bit unforeseen in terms of the whole COVID situation. But look, it is preparations are happening. I mean, the teams, each of the state teams, particularly that are participating, I noticed some of those teams are now being selected. People are starting to gear their thoughts to October. Broadbeach and Mermaid Beach. The multi-disability event will be at Mermaid Beach, and I think that's fantastic that's come under our umbrella now in terms of organisation. So we're looking forward to those events, and of course it's for a lot of state champions, this is an opportunity to win a national title, and bringing this all together in the one event. Of course, we didn't run it, as you know, Clive, in 2020. So having the first time the nationals are being run officially is an exciting time. We've also got the awards night that'll be happening during the actual rest day, which is about halfway through the event. And we'll also be having another meeting of our state consultative body, which is the BA board and state presidents, state CEOs. So another good chance to get together.
Of course, with that awards night, if you have a nomination or you want to nominate your club or so forth, you can get online and go to bowls.com.au and nominate for the various awards that are there for that wonderful awards night.
Absolutely, Clive. And yeah, really encourage the bowls fraternity to recognise, particularly at this, in these times that we're living, it's to get this national recognition is something quite special. So look forward to seeing those awards come in.
Now, BPL, let's have a look at that one, because we've got a new franchise that's been announced. Exciting times for the Melbourne Extreme. Yes,
from Club Sunbury, which, again, a wonderful club in Melbourne here. And they're replacing the Melbourne Roys, who have been an inaugural franchise holder in the BPL. And I thank the Melbourne Roys for their great contribution. They're having a bit of a break, and this provides an opportunity for Melbourne Extreme to come in and look. They're going to make a huge impact, I think, in the competition. They're a club on the move, and we're looking forward to their contribution to the BPL in 21-22.
And of course, we remind people, if you want to get up there and be part of the BPL, you've got the opportunity to do so through the BPL Cup. A wonderful event is the BPL Cup, and there are qualifying rounds happening all over the country at the moment. You can check them out at bowls.com.au as well. Go to the national events and BPL Cup. It's a whole list of events that you can get involved in. At the very least, Neil, you get a fun day at your local club competing to try and make the next round.
Absolutely, and then it all culminates, as you say, at Pine Rivers, which I mean, for those that can make it, and it is a long road to get there because of so many teams that are entering now, which is fantastic. But I mean, it's such a special venue at Club Pine Rivers, and it's an exciting time to be around. This year will be with, we're likely to have 10 teams in the BPL this year. We haven't announced the further two yet, but there will be likely to be 10 teams plus the BPL Cup on top of. And I think a few of your Western Australian teams that haven't been able to travel to Moama earlier this year will be joining us as well. So there's going to be a lot of people congregating at Club Pine Rivers in November this year. So very exciting.
Yes, yours truly looking forward to a crack at the BPL Cup, Neil. So, let's hope it goes well.
Yes, okay, well, hope you're there.
Other news, we've got some new partners on board in Drinkwise and Club Connect.
Yes, yeah, and whilst they're both involved with the alcohol industry, in some respects, I mean, Drinkwise is a very it's a great message, really, in terms of responsible serving and taking drinking alcohol. It's really the message there is around mid, low strength, zero strength, and just the different options that clubs do provide. And so yeah, it is. It's a good message, and it's good to be a partner with them. And the Club Connect is also an opportunity for clubs to through a purchasing arrangement there, whereby they can certainly get delivered to their club, and also very good strong rates and prices for those products. So two really good options out there for, I suppose, the wider bowls community to be aware of.
In terms of staffing at Bowls Australia, there's been some changes in the high performance area. And of course, we already knew about the coaching changes with Gary Willis and Karen Murphy and so forth, but there's been a couple of other changes in that space as well.
Correct. And it's great to see Rebecca Van Ash, I mean, a well-known personality in the sport of bowls, a great jackaroo who's come on board as our high performance manager. It was a rigorous process and we had a number of applicants for that position. It was a popular position and the applicants from far and wide across Australia and even some from overseas. And so Beck beat a very strong field for that role. And look, we're really looking forward to her coming on board. The experience that we have now within the team of as you say, Gary Willis, Karen Murphy, and now Beck is talk about who's who of bowls. And so yeah, that's really exciting for the program going forward. And also Leah Lazaro, who's been involved with the program and also from a participation side within BA. She'll be stepping up into an operations position, operations manager. So from a logistics point of view, I mean, we need these the strong people in these areas to help support our coaches, our pathways coaches, our national coaches, and certainly our high performance manager, which, as I say, which is Beck now.
And certainly from an AO perspective, that the crew there would have been very happy with the performance of the Jackaroos across the Australian Open.
Yeah, no, they did perform well, didn't they, across the board? And I mean, Kelsey Cottrell was named the MVP for her performances, which were exceptional. And so I mean, all round there was lots of Jackaroos in contention, which again you'd like to think you would see. But I think it was also pleasing that there's the depth of talent that we have, and it's not all about the Jackaroos. And I mean, there are other great bowlers out there that you saw on this on the national stage and on the television coverage. And so yeah, I think that was just equally as exciting to see some different people on the main rink there at Broadbeach.
And certainly, look, to clubs out there and to everyone out there at the moment, Neil, look, it's still trying times, isn't it? We've got a few places that are currently going through lockdowns and so forth. But, we can look to these as a lockdown, or we can look to them as an opportunity to plan and an opportunity to look to what's next. And I guess the encouragement for us out there is to say, think about what you can do differently as we come out of these lockdowns and what you can try in your club.
Yeah. It's a very good time to plan, as you suggest, Clive. And I know that in the country, particularly when you're in lockdown for some period of time, people are upset. There's it's not ideal not being able to get down to your club for a roll, and what the definition of community sport in, say, New South Wales, which says you can't for this period of lockdown, they can't go out and have a roll, even though I'm sure they must think that this is a bit silly, but that's the rules. And but I think where there's that sort of issue, then the opportunity lends itself to actually start to think about, well, what can we do to make our club better? We talk about social bowls, junior bowls, school bowls, getting new people into the club, whether it's young people, middle-aged, older people. I mean, the sport obviously appeals to all demographics and all ages. So now's the time to start to look at how can we be more inclusive? How can we bring in people from the community, and products and programs like Jack Attack and Roll Back the Clock and Rookie Rollers are all fantastic in terms of providing a framework for a club to say, right, if we want to get into social bowls or run a social bowls program, then Jack Attack is something that we know through the research that we've done over many years that this is more appealing because it's a shorter version. It's a bit of fun. I mean, ultimately people want to have fun. So if you're in for the first time, this is the sort of product that you'd want to play, I think, and the game format that you'd like to play. So yeah, I just can keep that message has just got to be continually repeated, and might sound like a bit like a broken record sometimes, but it is a great time to plan, and yeah, particularly at this time of the year, and particularly in some of the southern states where it's obviously a bit cold and maybe less in terms of attractive for playing bowls, then that's the planning phase for sure.
Certainly the encouragement there. Talk to your local regional bowls manager. You can get that information. If you don't know who that is, you can get that information on bowls.com.au. Head along to the club support area and you can check out your local regional bowls manager. Give them a call. And even if they can't come out and see you face to face at the moment, they can help remotely. So look, that's fantastic, Neil. Thank you very much for your time once again.
Thanks, Clive. And hopefully we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Catch you next time.